I'm sick and tired, alright? Sick and tired. Hi, welcome back. Hi, welcome back. Or welcome. Period. Anyways, how many books did you read this year? Not a lot? Yeah, me neither. So you can't do your yearly wrap up because you didn't read enough. Plot twist, you did read enough. Even if it was one book. Besides that, I'm gonna do a... What the fuck am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Is the camera working? This is a yearly wrap up. Woohoo! The year is over. Did we all struggle this year, like reading? I struggled real bad. If it wasn't towards the end of the year, I would have had like... My reading goal for 2023 was 30 books. Because in 2022, I had a goal of, I think, 60. And I only read, well, I read 40 something instead of 60. So I dialed it down a lot to 30. Did I make the goal? Did I do it? No, I didn't do it. I read 13 books. And I read 5 of them recently in the last 2 months. You know, in my defense, I did start college this year. That's no excuse. Okay. I felt overwhelmed with reading. I was like, what do I read? Do I want to read this? What if I don't like it? I was nervous. I didn't want to read something I wasn't going to like and then put it down and never pick it back up. So, let's get started. Because I have nothing else to say. But, I am going to rant in the end. Okay, what was the most disappointing book I read this year? I would say Twisted Games and If He Had Been With Me. Let me tell you why. I saw a quote from Twisted Games that made me want to read it. I was like, let me continue this series. Let me stop starting series and never finishing them. So, yo. Okay, I think they're far enough. So, 2 most disappointing things of a lifetime. I feel like I wasted my time. I feel like Rias was too indecisive. You have to pick whether you want to sacrifice your job to be with Bridget or if you don't want to do that. I felt no connection to these characters. I didn't like them together. I didn't like them separately. I wasn't interested in what was going on. And I didn't like the princess trope. I probably should have figured that out before I started it. And If He Had Been With Me. Everybody said this book was so sad, but they said it was so good. And it was some people's favorite book. Why? I mean, it's fine if it's your favorite book, but I gave it 2 stars. I feel like the entire thing was about regular teenage girls and boys in middle school and then high school, and then in the end somebody dies, but I never got to see them together for real. Never got to really see their relationship grow. They could have been together from the point of middle school and we could have avoided this whole thing. Most underdog book of the year was Resurrection of Wildflowers. That book, I gave that book 5 stars. It is a duology, and the first book is The Confidence of Wildflowers, but it doesn't matter because that one healed me and it gave me extra hope. And it was so adorable. Thayer Holmes is that guy. That one had me kicking and giggling my feet. Kicking and giggling my feet. giggling and kicking my feet. 100%. This question is overhyped book this year. Now, I don't read much, so I didn't read a lot of popular books at all. I've read 13 books this year. Didn't read a lot of popular ones, but the most popular one I did read, Fourth Wing. And it was overhyped. While you're reading, everybody's loving this book. They're picking their dragons. They're bonding to them. It's really interesting while you're reading. Due to the fact that I don't read fantasy, I probably have to dig deeper into fantasy before I actually decide if that was good or not. But from reflection after finishing the book, all of that could have happened in probably 300 pages. It wasn't that fast-paced. There were boring spots of it, and I said I still was entertained while reading, and I was. But looking back on it, spoiler alert, I'm going to say a spoiler. When Liam died, I did not feel nothing. Even when the plot twist happened in the end, I didn't feel much of anything. While I was reading, I did, but I forgot about that book a few hours after finishing it. A book that surprised me, I have to say, Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid and Stay With Me by Nicole Fiornia. So, Daisy Jones and the Six, when I opened it, I saw that the entire book was an interview. And I'm like, why am I reading an interview? So many people were saying that it was so good. And it was a lot of people's favorite book, like, ever. You know, tattoos dedicated to it and all. So I was like, I need to see what's happening. I love that book so much. I gave it 4.5 stars. I didn't realize how much an interview can be interesting, especially when it's talking about people's life. I didn't think I was gonna. But then I had to remember the fact that it was about a band. And then they dragged me in. I read it. And I loved it. I thought it was just going to be question, answer, but instead it told their whole story. Good job. And Stay With Me by Nicole Fiornia. This book is not that popular. It's a series. It's a 3-book series. So I went into it with not too high expectations because it's not that popular. Not a lot of people have read it. I thought about that book for months after finishing it. It was so good. Like, even if you can't relate to the characters at all, you feel for the characters and you feel connected to them somehow. I don't know how she did it. Favorite book couple of the year, I would have to say Kulti and Sal, and then Julian and Dahlia. Listen. These are 2 different reasons here that I love both of them with my entire heart. Kulti and Sal had the best relationship I've ever read. Ever. I don't know. I don't understand how they grew together so realistically. And they bonded so casually. They fell for each other without realizing it. That is my favorite book couple to walk the earth at all. Now, Julian and Dahlia are absolutely adorable. The banter, the arguing, and then the enemies to lovers. Once they were in love, that was it. Julian and Dahlia. So the happiest book I've read this year, keeping it on the same subject, happiest book I've read is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. Yes. Happiest book I've read. There were some sad aspects to it, but overall, I was laughing and kicking my feet basically the entire time. I was having a good time. I gotta prepare myself to talk about this one. Hold on. I had to take a mental break and come back. The most frustrating book I've read this year is We'll Always Have Summer. By far. I started reading that book last year in the summer. Summer of 2022. I was so irritated, I couldn't finish that book. But this year, I was like, okay, let me finish this series. I'm almost close to being done with it. That has had to be the most frustrating book. Oh! So, if you don't know about the Summer I Turned Pretty series, you should probably skip this. But you should know at this point, with the way that we've been arguing about it. Team Jeremiah, Team Conrad. I think I gave that book 1 or 2 stars. Let me tell you why. Because why in your right mind would you propose to somebody after cheating on them? Why would you do that? And why would you, Belly, say yes? Where's your self-respect? Where is it? Your mom doesn't want you to get married? There's so much going on. You're struggling to pay for the wedding. These are so many signs for you to not do that. Yet you're so determined to get married at 19. At 19. For what? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Just to turn around in the end and be with his brother? So the amount of series I finished this year was 2. That's not bad. I finished the Summer I Turned Pretty series, as I said before, and I finished the Confidence of Wildflowers duology. The Confidence of Wildflowers has a novella that I did buy and I did start it. But once again, my reading year was down the pooper, down the drain. I never finished a novella. What is the longest book I've read this year? I didn't finish the book yet, but being that it's December 29th, I will be sitting my ass down after this and reading for 6 hours to finish this. Kill Switch by Penelope Douglas. Wow! I don't know how many pages Kill Switch is. When I looked it up, it said 666, which is kind of, that's kind of iconic, but it's also kind of insane at the same time, being as what the series is, kind of demonic. Arr! What book would I recommend the most? I would recommend Devil's Night the most. Absolutely. 100%. I love rom-coms. I love contemporary romance. I love romance books, period. At the end of the day, that's what a lot of people are reading. But if you want to completely enter a new world, Devil's Night series. And I'm telling you now, it's never gonna fail to entertain you. Never gonna fail to entertain. You're gonna be entertained the entire time. You might go into it with a few opinions. Your opinions will change along the way, 100%. Overall, you will go for the best ride of your life if you start this series. Go do it. Look up trigger warnings. For sure. I couldn't sleep the other night. My favorite book quotes of the year. One of my favorite quotes is from Kulti. And Kulti did say it. Every single thing that has ever happened in my life led me here. I am the man that I am. And I have done the things that I've done to get me to you. Self-explanatory. If you need explanation to add on to that, no, you don't. You did everything that you did in your lifetime just to get to me. You telling me I was your final goal? I was your final destination. No! My other favorite quote is from Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. And Michael did say it indeed. Michael Christ. Is it Michael Christ or Michael Christ? I've seen a lot of back and forth. I don't know. When you want to make an impression and you think you've gone far enough, go a little bit further. Always leave them wondering if you're a little bit crazy, and people will never fuck with you again. Always leave them wondering if you're a little bit crazy. Amen. How many books did I DNF? 1. I DNF'd Divine Rivals. Maybe I just wasn't in the mood to read it. I didn't feel the atmosphere that they were in. I was not invested, period. So I DNF'd it. I only started it because it was on my December TBR. I'm never gonna read that book. I'm probably never going to read that book. The rant basically begins now. Okay, what are books I want to read in 2024? So, being that this is a realistic yearly wrap-up, I know there are people like me who read sometimes, but not all the time, and want to read more, but then also feel like you're not doing enough. Like you should be writing reviews, annotating, drawing in your books, reading what's the most popular, just so you know what's going on and you know, like you're in the loop about what's going on. So to answer the question, books I want to read in 2024 are whatever books grab my attention, whatever I want to read at the end of the day. I don't want to read books I'm not interested in simply because they're popular. Like, I don't know if I'm the only one who used to do that. I'm going to stop doing that. I'm going to read whatever books grab my attention in that moment. With that being said, I'm probably also going to stop making monthly TBRs. I am a mood reader. But then again, I also can jump moods completely just to read something. When I started Devil's Night, I watched about 50 aesthetic videos to really place myself inside Devil's Night. Place myself inside somewhere so I can be invested in reading it. I wanted to start this series for 2 years. I'm not about to go on a Devil's Night rant right now. When I tell you everybody's sick of me, I won't stop talking about this series. I'm done. I'm gonna shut up now. So, since this is a realistic video, and it's gonna be extremely realistic, a lot of people talk about their reading goals for 2024. They talk about how many genres they want to branch out to, what kind of books they want to read, how many books they want to complete off their physical TBR. But me, on the other hand, I don't have any genres that I want to start in 2024. I don't have a goal as to how many books I want to complete on my physical TBR, because once again, this is my life. This is my reading life. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if I'm the only one who goes through this. I'm not someone to care about what it is that I'm reading or how I can advance as a reader. Yes, that's what I was trying to say. I'm a mood reader. I read what I want to read, when I want to read it, how I want to read it, and I decide what I want to read. I have no goals as to branch out to more genres. If they grab my attention, they grab my attention. If they don't, I won't be reading them. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that I've always felt like half of a reader because I don't write reviews or know the correct terms to talk about books, but I've come to the point where I don't care much. I just want to have fun.
So my reading goal for 2023 is nope. That ain't it. Reading goal for 2024 is 60 books. I know I set my reading goal for 2023 to 30 books and I did not complete that, but that is because I guess you could say I was in the slump of my life. Since I did join BookTube, I am on Bookstagram a lot more and BookTok. I feel like I can do that. Also, I have a month off of school to do absolutely nothing. I can get my reading numbers up there while I'm at home. Also, I have a schedule that I think can work with me trying to reach this goal. I forgot about the thumbnail. So, what the? You see my face? How'd that come out?